senior civil servant of Government of India and have more than 30 years of experience in an Indian administrative service. He is currently the Secretary in Department of Youth Affairs under Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. He himself was a brilliant student and he did his BSc Honours in Physics from St. Stephen's College, Delhi University and MSc in Physics from State University of New York. Today, we have got an opportunity to hear him on this auspicious occasion. I request Shri Sanjay Kumar ji to kindly address the audience.
Yes.
Thank you. Chief guest of this convocation function, Dr. Mahesh Verma, Vice Chancellor Sahab, Shri Ravi Sharma ji, Director of the Institute, Srimati Monica ji, members of the faculty, and dear students. I am happy to be here on this memorable day of your convocation. And I must tell you that actually, in my academic days, I never got to wear the mortar boat, as this is called, and the gown. Because somehow, I never was there when the convocation took place for graduation or post-graduation. So for me, it's kind of a vicarious pleasure in wearing this gown and this mortar boat. Today is a very historic day, I would say. Apart from the fact that it's the convocation for IITM, today also is the day when the atom bomb was dropped over Nagasaki. Today is 9th of August. The reason why I mention this is that your institute is named Indian Information Technology and Management. So there is technology part of it and there is management part of it. And most technologies which are introduced in the society, they are almost value neutral. How you add value to it depends on you for the kind of usage you put into. So nuclear power could be destructive and it could also be a solution to all our energy problems. How you do it and the kind of a product mix you develop over it, to a very large extent it depends on how we view it. So when you are out in life and taking decisions on a daily basis, always ask yourself, what the decision which you are taking, is it going to be destructive, or it is going to be good, or is going to be mixed, which normally is the case in human lives. But today is a historic day, this I wanted to tell you. It's also affecting us very differently. Nowadays, you will be reading about artificial intelligence, which is fueled by the kind of technology we are looking at. And it is impacting the kind of jobs which are available in the market. So people say that almost about 50% of the jobs in due course of time would be surrendered to the machines. And only jobs which relate to creativity what the humans would manage. Any work which is repetitive and does not require, which is based out of a logarithm, would be overtaken by machines. So that is one issue, and then we need to actually take part of it. We need to think about it. I often feel that what is development for and who the development is for? Is the development for the kind of people who are part of the society, or it is in spite of them? If you will see, lately the debate has been that we are having jobless growth. So the economy is growing, but the jobs are not growing at the same rate at which the economy is growing. So sometimes you ask yourself this question, that who the economy is for? Is the economy for people like us, or it is in spite of us. And sometimes you also feel that perhaps we don't matter so much in the scheme of things, eventually because we've been progressing all the while. Our lives have become much better. And if you look at, again, let me go back to Nagasaki again, post Second World War, this is the best period we have seen on this earth. The way the economy has grown after 1945 till now has been absolutely unbelievable. And this is, if you look back at the history of last 2,500 odd years, this has been the best period in our lives. Violence has gone down, we have done well, poverty has gone down. In fact, those of you who like to read, I would suggest a book written by a Harvard professor called Steven Pinker. The better part of our angels, which is a quotation taken after Abraham Lincoln. So if you are interested, you quite read it, because it says that we are living in the best part of our lives, and this perhaps is the best part of human history in terms of development. But then there are clouds all around. If artificial intelligence actually strikes us down and jobs are not there, then what do? How do you manage civil strife? So now there's a concept of universal basic income. That, okay, you don't have a job, but I will give you 500 rupees a month. So you take care of yourself, so you don't create a problem for me. So there's a big debate going on around universal basic income. And I'm telling you all these things because I would want you to think about it. I am from the Department of Youth Affairs, and often you'll hear that India's advantage is that we have the youngest youth in the whole world. We have 140 crores now, and out of this 140 crores, the youth who are defined as between the age of 15 and 29, they comprise about 28% of the population. I wrote a letter to UIDAI and I asked them that, can you give me the number of people to whom you have issued an Aadhaar card and who happen to be in the age group of 15 to 29. So then they gave me this figure district wise, so when I totaled it, the figure comes to 37.84 crores. So there are at least on the lower side, actual figure may be a little higher than that. So there are 37.84 people who are in this age group. What is the median age of India? The median age of India as of now is 29. So that is our advantage. And how does it compare from other countries? I'll give you a few examples. US is 38. So it's a society which has aged as compared to India. China is 42. So though the Chinese have done well, they have grown at almost 10% for the last 30 years, but they are an aging society. Japan is 48. So this is our day under the sun. We have 29 years of age, we have a large number of people, and this window is not going to last forever because we are also aging. We are also aging, so I think we are looking at the next maybe about 15 years ahead of us. This is the Indian window where we can make a mark, and make a mark in the sense that what you hear of population dividend, that will pay itself to the Indian economy. But then there are conditions for the dividend to work. You need to be healthy. You need to be better educated. You need to be educated as per the demands of the time. Are we doing it? I am not answering this question for you, but I am leaving it for you. But I'll leave a few things for you. In addition, the average life expectancy, you will see we are about 68. And if you compare ourselves with the Koreans and the Japanese, they are way behind. Usually the mark of a developed society is that when women's life expectancy overtakes men's. I think India is just about at the same place. We are making that transition where women's life expectancy is going to overshoot and it is going to be more than the men. So that's a good sign which is happening to us. Eventually the XX will thrive over XY. So always remember that, it's all in the genes. So that's one issue. The second issue is about education. And I feel a lot of concern, and I can express this concern while I'm in an educational institution. I am very concerned about the quality of education which we are imparting to our students. There are institutions of excellence, but then there are institutions which are not doing much. And let me give a little example to you, because I was looking at the India Skill Report which comes out every year, and they say that what is the employability of our various courses. So if you look at BTech courses which we are providing, the employability in 2021 is 46.82, meaning 53% of the students who are doing BTech are unemployable by industry standards. MBA 46.59, BA 42.72, BCom 40.3, BSc 30.3. So if you do a BSc honors, your employability is just about 30%. MCA, I think this is the most worrisome, because over the years it has been decreasing. MCA used to be 45% employable in 2015, it is down to 22 now. And last figure I will give you is B Pharma, which used to be 50% employable in the year 2015, but today it is down to 37.24. So what is happening? I think a lot of institutions are coming up, perhaps we are lacking in regulation. So our regulatory framework needs to become better. And I think the day should come when one would want to see that 100% of the people who are doing a particular course, at least this figure goes up in the 90s. Then only we'll be able to make use of the population dividend. So our youth should be healthy. Our youth should have fair amount of education, and good education. They should be employable, and also we need to give impetus to vocational education. If you look at the National Education Policy 2020, which is quite a remarkable and a revolutionary document, it says that for secondary education, we should strive for 100% GER. But for higher education, it says 50% by 2025. We are at 27 as of now. So if 50% people are part of higher education, what happens to the other 50? And the answer is vocational education. But then it would require a fair amount of change in the way we think, the socio-behavioral pattern. And vocational education, as documented in the 12th five-year plan, is for India is less than 5%. Less than 5% of our people are actually getting vocational education. When you compare this number with the other countries, US is 52, Germany is 75, and South Korea, it is 96. So I think way ahead is to improve the quality of education which we are providing to our youth, and also emphasize on employability and its quality. The economy is changing, and regular and jobs which will be there for 30-35 years are hard to find. So we have employed a new word for it. We say that we live in a gig economy nowadays. And the gig economy has its own concerns and it has its own advantages. But let me share the concerns as of now. At present, 40% of the gig work is in medium skilled jobs, 22% in high skilled, and 31% in low skilled jobs. Trend shows that the concentration of workers in medium skills is gradually declining, and low skilled and high skilled is increasing. So there is another cause of concern for people who are part of the educational institutions. And less than half of the Indian graduates, as I mentioned earlier, are employable. So these are some of the serious issues I wanted to talk to you, but let me come back to the lighter issues. I would leave with two ideas. I think the way the way we are culturally shaped, I often find that it prohibits, it inhibits original thinking. We as Indians, we are comfortable when we are told what to do. So we can suspend our thought process. Now how good this is for the country, and how good is this for science, which thrives on questioning, trying to find an answer to questions which are not there. So if you are not going to ask yourselves questions, then what is going to happen? So somehow the society needs to introspect and ask itself, are we allowing the younger generation to be creative and to be very curious? I'll share an example. I was studying in the US, and one day I had gone to a Baskin and Robbins ice cream parlor. And I saw a young American mother with a 2-year-old son in her lap. So the boy obviously wanted to have an ice cream. So she read out all the 30 odd flavors which were there to the boy. And she explained to him what each one contains. And I was watching her from the sideline and I was saying, oh my God, such a stupid woman, what is she doing? Why can't she just buy a flavor and give it to him? But she did not do that. She read out each flavor to the boy and then she asked him to make a choice. And whatever color which may have caught the fancy of the boy, he pointed his finger at that and he was given that ice cream flavor. That is the power of making children think. And I guess we need to create an environment, a framework in which we allow our children and our young and our youth to be able to make a choice and make an informed choice. An informed choice based on facts. And the system must provide facts to you. Things are changing, but they're not changing fast enough. They're not changing fast enough. I think we, at times, as an Indian, I feel that we've been caught in a time warp. We move very slowly. That is why sometimes the Indian economy is described as an elephant. Elephant moves, it is heavy, but it is very slow. And let me give you another example for that. I had a Chinese engineer who was my roommate. And he heard about Rajdhani Express. So one day he picked up and he said, Sanjay, you have Rajdhani Express in India which travels at 120 kilometers per hour. In China, nothing travels faster than 40 kilometers per hour. This is 1986. Fast forward 14 plus 22, 36 years. On a good day, Rajdhani Express is still doing 120. Look where the Chinese have gone. They have trains, high-speed trains, which are doing 350 kilometers per hour, and they have a maglev in Shanghai which does 450, or is plus 400. So that is the part. How do you do things which makes you do things quickly? And how do you have an enabling environment which makes it possible? That is the question for us. And if at this speed we do, then you must ask yourself the question that what is the opportunity cost for it? In the year 1991, India's per capita income was marginally better than the Chinese, slightly ahead of them. Today they are a 5 times larger economy. The question I'm leaving behind for you is, we may argue that okay, they are an authoritarian society, and I'm no fan of the Chinese, let me tell you. But if they are an authoritarian society and we are a democracy, is the difference between the two of us a part of democracy deficit? Is this the question? This is the question I'm leaving you with. Please think about it. And the last thing, all of you are on the verge of life, going out, you will do course of time, some of you will get married, some of you will work, and make a life, contribute to nation building. So I'm leaving you with a poem written by a gentleman called Simon Sinek. If you watch TED Talks, just type Simon Sinek and you will hear him. He's worth listening to some of his talks. And this is the last, here's the poem which is there and I'm leaving you behind with it. A signpost stands at a fork in the road. Pointing in one direction, the sign says victory. Pointing in another direction, the sign says fulfillment. We must pick a direction. Which one will we choose? If we choose the path to victory, the goal is to win. We will experience the thrill of competition as we rush towards the finish line. Crowds gather to cheer for us, and then it's over. The crowds will go back, and everyone goes home. Hopefully we can do it again. If you choose the path to fulfillment, the journey will be long. There will be times in which we must watch our step. There will be times we can stop to enjoy the view. We keep going, we keep going. Crowds gather to join us on the journey. And when our lives are over, those who joined us on the path to fulfillment will keep going without us and inspire others to join them too. So may you embark on a journey of fulfillment on this particular day. Thank you so much.